I saw a video of an honorable member peeping to look at who an electorate was voting for.
Primitive.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
There was another one where the man, I could see his frustration in the election, like the whole governance, that he was like doing incantations before he was voting.
Ghanaians have overwhelmingly and emphatically spoken, and it looks like it is going towards the former head of state in the person of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. For the first time in Ghana, we are going to have a female vice president who will be serving the 4th and 6th president of this great republic. What a day to be alive. This is Sauce and Pepper.
I have the singular honor as the returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the winner of the 2024 presidential election and the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
Kingsley.
Yes, sir.
Today, Say is joining us. And
yes. Your space, allow me.
It's good. It's good. And I mean, if you see 3 members here, then it means that assembly is critical. But I mean, it's history in the making, right? Yeah, we are recording history, right?
Independence Day.
Yeah. Wait, you call it really? Oh,
Sarah is here to liberate us.
Please.
But you know, in election over the years, one of the things we observe are long queues, and it looks like in this election we haven't seen that. What could have contributed to that?
I think one thing we can commend the EC for is the increased polling stations. I think at the beginning we felt it was like stress and everything, but we realized it's actually reduced the number of queues or number of people going there. I hear those kind of people stones and then the line, then they are calling blah 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 blah. All those things didn't happen. Yeah, so yes, it's actually helped.
So in the same vein, would you give EC the props of how timely they were with their press conferences and all of that, even though people had a little reservations in terms of the informations they churned out? But would you agree it was a good?
For the press conferences, I'm not sure. Like Say said, I also commend them for how swift this time the voting process was. It will take you less than 5 minutes for you to finish with both the presidential and the parliamentary.
Unless the machine decides not to detect your face.
Right.
Well, I didn't experience that personally at my polling station, but the press conferences, I don't really think it really helped because they were just rehashing a lot of the things we were watching in the media already. Exactly. Because if you are coming to us with information you are not too sure of, why are you calling a press conference in the first place? Because when you tell us that our agents are saying this, and when it's time for the journalists to ask you specific questions, you don't even allow them to.
And so if you want to tell you the specific figures for voter turnout, we'll do that in the course of the day, but not now, because we need to get the turnout from all the polling stations, which we are yet to get.
They didn't even have answers to most of the things that were happening in the public that we already knew of. So, like, their press conference was like a one-way street. Even though they allowed 5 questions per each presser, it was like a one-way street. So I have information. So this is to tell you that we have done 5 hours now since voting started, and ballot papers have arrived at almost 99 places. Everything was good. It's like, I'm giving you out information. Then a journalist will raise their hand and say, okay, so at this polling station, there's been records of BVDMs not working, and then they've lost by and say, oh, that has not come to our attention before.
What?
Wait, what are you doing? So what
are you even in charge?
Wait, what was your system to get information about what was happening?
Right.
Because most of the time in these cases, you expect the press conference to address happenings, not about it. Because as for what is happening, we are seeing. But answer to like someone is asking, why is my polling station delayed for 4 hours? And then you are telling us, 99% is out there. I think the third person, they asked about voter turnout. So, voter turnout is great. We all know today as we speak that voter turnout was one of the lowest we've seen in a long time. So what data were they using?
Based on that.
So like me, I think it should have been how do you call those things? The address. So like the way that the president comes to us, fellow Ghanaians. It should have been there because most of the questions, I think there were only, I watched all the presses. It was only one of them that like an answer was given that were like, okay, this is the answer, which was, so okay, this will be like at the end of the final one. A journalist asked about whether there was a change in process for ballot boxes and pink sheets, because the presses, like they had been informed that ballot boxes were going to go to district offices and then pink sheets were going to go to collation centers, but they had reports that these two were going to the same places. Then he gave an answer to that, which all the things I saw, all the ballot boxes were at the collation centers. I didn't see any of them that did not have ballot boxes.
I mean, I agree with you to a large extent, especially in an age where social media has also surfaced into. So sometimes even people get the news way before you. So exactly, you would expect that to be on top of issue. You would have put in structures in place that will keep you ahead of the rest in terms of information, right?
And I also realized that in their quest for us to say they were transparent, they were doing some of these are gimmicks. Okay. If this is what the easy calls transparency, then they were joking.
Why?
Because all the things they were saying, we knew them already.
Like that's why we say
you call press conference when you are coming to tell us something we don't know.
Or an answer to a question that is out there. Like people
of
have
public interest.
Exactly, public interest. Tell us what's happening. Or give us
so we agree the presser didn't.
So I think it was of like they had like good intentions, but I think the presser didn't give us a lot of answer than what we were going to hope for. Like I felt they should have been addressing issues. And then there was this question about security, and they say, remember the mandate of the EC is not security. No, you are part of the security.
Yeah, but as to how the security operates and how
I am complaining. The people are complaining that how do you call it? In the third presser, complaints were that we are seeing military in and around polling centers. You, the EC, you know, you got the same information as we all did that military is not supposed to be around the presser. So you should tell us, okay, you give us an update on that.
Okay.
On your next presser and get information for us, because that's why you are there. You can do a free and fair elections where I can come and vote. But if my security is threatened, that I didn't show up to vote, and that happened at some places, people said they actually going to vote. One, there were delayed boxes, so they went back and they never came back again. Two, they saw military around and they didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
So how do you get it? My security is equally important to you for you to be able to do your work.
In the spirit of transparency, one of the conversations that came to the fore is the fact that how ballot and election materials were positioned.
Yes.
Why
personally, I encountered it and it was so uncomfortable.
Okay.
So they placed the boxes such that your back is facing where the EC officials are, right? And you have some of the party agents sitting right behind them. Looking at how long this paper is. The moment you flip it down, we know you are doing number 1.
Number 8.
If you bring it to the middle, we know. If you bring it down, we know you are going as well. So
that's
so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The only time I would say that being a little bit fat is beneficial because I blocked it.
No, we would not allow you to body shame on the show.
He's owning his body. He didn't body shame. He says that's what.
Viewers, do you agree that this is owning body shaming? I mean, they should tell us.
That's just by but it was so uncomfortable.
I saw a video of an honorable member peeping to look at who an electorate was voting for.
Primitive.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
There was another one where the man, I could see his frustration in the election, like the whole governance, that he was like doing incantations before he was voting. And then everybody was seeing the camera as far back as where the camera was videoing. We could see that this man was going to scroll down and vote.
So one of the MPs actually literally brought the ballot paper down so they know that he's voting for his preferred candidate. Like, I'm not even hiding. I'm bringing it so down because there are 13 or 12 people on the ballot sheet. So when I bring it down, you know who I'm voting for.
You know, one institution that was involved in these processes, it wasn't just the EC. These political parties too were involved. Others believe that allowing the political parties to have press conference whilst election is going on could be a recipe for disaster?
To some extent, this particular one of the presses caused panic. Like the NDC presser.
Okay.
I was following the NDC because me, as I said, 2012, they had my vote. 2016, Akufo-Addo had my vote. So I don't care if you tag me or not. I've voted both parties before, and I vote based on what's happening in my economy. Yes, not I don't care about your macroeconomy. So I don't care about mine. My pocket was feeling the deed, so I did that. So this time around, I was part of like wanting the change because I felt we have been
I think it's a wave that
it's a wave that cuts on everybody.
Everyone,
if
you know,
it passes, you are switchy.
You're either eating,
Yes,
or you have been blinded. It's
William Shield, worry.
Like I don't get it. Like we like they were so like not listening to us. So yes.
Yeah.
So I was following what they were doing, and I can say that they were giving updates to their team on social media, and they were updating, and you could see that they had a system. Like what happened in 2020 where they didn't have their pink sheet, they had come up with a system to solve that. But most of the things that they were saying at the presses were things that were circulating on social media.
Okay.
So they come and debunk the one NPP is perpetuating against them. And then they come and say the ones that NPP are doing. And then they make it look like yes, like be vigilant, be vigilant. And then we are thinking, why? Like, do they have any intel? Like, would they still? And then when it got to the coalition side where they are like, follow the ballot box, I was like, we are in trouble. Because imagine NPP said, follow the ballot boxes. NDC said, follow the ballot boxes. Chaos.
I saw it as a NDC going into an election that the opponent had everything at their disposal when it comes to government machinery. So now, what they did, from a layman's point of view, when I was watching, is they had to take two of ammunition, say what they would fight with against this government. And those two things were the people and the media. So I felt they held these two people in their corner whilst government had all other machineries. Now look, of course, they don't have to be doing presses and beer. But if you are going against a government that has shown, allegedly, they are proving and showing that they are plotting to rig, and you decided that my strategy is going to get the media on my side and the people on my side. When the time comes where now you expect that EC will be on top of issue, already there's distrust from you and the public. So whatever he realized, when there's a red flag, he go to his ammunitions. And those ammunitions are the media and the people.
Let's be fair, all of them they did too many presses to start with. Like there was too much. Like sometimes, see, I'm following like the elites. Like I enjoyed TV3's command word. Like I enjoyed because they were bringing. You see, Martin, people is saying something and I'm following. I'm excited. Then they say, okay, sorry, we have to cut to. Then I go and it is NPP that's talking. And they've not said anything. They just said, and then the NDC chairman in his own room without it. I've seen that on social media. What are you saying? You've not said anything. Let's move on. Then we are cutting to NDC press. NDC press is saying, and then the NPP people, we have cut 1,000 boxes. And the funny thing, how they find these boxes secluded, there's nobody. Like the first question I asked, but where are the people who were supposed to have been running the ballots, like the fake ballot papers? Because it's not possible. If the ballot boxes are there, someone should be guarding it. So I'm thinking, did they overpower the person? That's the story I want to hear from more. But they didn't give me that story. All they told me that we found.
You know, Kingsley, before you come in, you know, some brilliant minds and industry players have suggested that moving forward, so that our electoral process will be better, are suggesting that these press conferences should be regulated by the GJA.
Please give our producer his prop. There's no brilliant man. Please, our producer who said that. That GJA should regulate.
Yeah, so I disagreed with the sentiments of our producer, his lordship, that we should route it to the GJA. No, I think it will go and undermine the media freedom we have, because GJA is an association. Yes, they are acting in the interest of journalists, but if you want to make them the vehicle with which information will come out, then it defeats the whole media
so that
freedom
those
thing we are fighting
informations
for.
coming out.
Is it sieved? Do you want it sieved?
No, so it's not about sieving them, but you know, journalism is about truth, reporting what is true, what is right, and you know. So if you have an institution where these things must go through, then it means that before it comes out, it would have met certain standards.
But that's sieving information.
Let's just stick to GBC, where we all go and tap into their feed. If that is what you are saying,
because the whole idea,
I hold a different points. Okay. My point is, social media has come today, right?
Right.
They don't need to hold presses that process like the elections that the media houses are supposed to be doing. The media houses can pick this information later as and when they get it and show it to viewers, right? And so they have the power. I think the media houses actually have the power to control which press conference they show to us or not. The NDC, the NPP can hold their press conferences. They have their platforms. There's social media. All they need to do is...
When we started this conversation, you made a point about one of the press conferences almost causing fear and panic.
Exactly.
And if we had something like this in place, don't you think GJ would not have...
But that's exactly what I am saying. That so if the media houses like the traditional media, GTV, TV3, whatever, if they were picking that feed, like after it had been aired, they would decide which part of it to show to the public. So the part where you've made a call that people should follow the ballot boxes, TV3 will cut it out because they think it will cause fear and panic. Do you get me? Instead of GJ saying, no, you can't say this, because that would be controlling what I want to say as free press or as an institution.
And you know, at some point...
I can say for a fact that one of the press conference, when they realized that the angle of the conversation was not going to be towards the safety of the people, they cut it off.
Okay.
Two of the media houses actually cut it off.
Okay.
And this is one of the reasons why NMC brought some policy where they wanted the media houses to bring their content for them to approve before it is aired.
That's
they lost that case.
You went out there, voted peacefully, and of course we are here serving you with all the sauce and pepper. Let's keep that same energy, because we will be here again serving you. Till we come your way next time, be a great citizen. We are.